The year before retirement could make or break your entire financial plan, but many people miss these four critical checkpoints that could separate a comfortable retirement from a stressful one. If you're 55 or older and approaching retirement, you're entering very important financial times in your life. My name is Patrick Shope, and I am the founder of Shope & Associates. We focus on helping pre-retirees and retirees navigate this crucial transition with confidence. And today, I'm going to share with you the exact four-step checklist that can mean the difference between retirement anxiety and retirement confidence. I'm not going to go over basic retirement planning advice you can find anywhere online. These are the specific steps that address the biggest uncertainties retirees face. Will my money last? Have I optimized my Social Security? How do I handle healthcare costs? And how do I turn my nest egg into reliable income? By the end of this video, you'll have a clear roadmap to review each critical area before you make that final leap. Step 1 is conducting what I call the retirement budget stress test. Most people create a retirement budget, but very few actually stress test it against the two biggest unknowns, inflation and healthcare costs. Here's what separates a regular budget from a stress-tested one. A regular budget says, I need $8,000 per month in retirement. A stress-tested budget asks, what happens to my plan if inflation runs at 5% annually for 5 years straight? That $8,000 monthly need becomes over $10,000 just from inflation alone. The key is categorizing your expenses into three buckets: needs, wants, and wishes. Your needs are non-negotiable expenses, things like your housing, utilities, food, and healthcare. Your wants include dining out, travel, hobbies. Your wishes are the extras, like luxury travel or expensive gifts for your grandchildren. When inflation or market downturns hit, you need to know exactly where you can trim without sacrificing your core lifestyle. But there's one part people miss entirely. You need to stress test against healthcare inflation specifically, which historically tends to run higher than general inflation. Imagine you've budgeted $1,500 monthly for healthcare costs, but didn't account for healthcare inflation. 10 years into retirement, your actual healthcare costs have grown to over $2,200 monthly. Your adequate retirement budget could suddenly have a $700 a month gap. Step 2 is developing your Social Security strategy. This isn't just about deciding when to claim. It's about creating a comprehensive strategy that considers both spouses and survivor benefits. For 2025, if you retire at full retirement age, your maximum benefit would be about $4,018 monthly. However, if you retire at age 62, your maximum benefit drops to $2,831. If you wait until age 70, it actually increases to $5,108. Think of Social Security claiming like choosing between different guaranteed pension options. You can take a smaller check starting at age 62, you can take a medium check at full retirement age, or you can take a large check at age 70. But unlike a pension decision, Social Security affects not just you, but potentially your spouse's survivor benefits too. The first step to deal with this is to create your My Social Security account at ssa.gov to see your personalized estimates. Then you can consider this critical question that most couples miss. Which spouse might want to consider delaying benefits to maximize the survivor benefit? You see, the higher earner's benefit can become the survivor benefit. So it can sometimes make sense for the higher earner to delay while the lower earner claims early. Now, before we continue on these topics, if you're interested in seeing how your exact situation might look, we have a free financial planning tool for our viewers. It's in the link in the description below. It only takes a few minutes to get a general idea of where you stand. Step 3 addresses what I consider the retirement wildcard: healthcare and long-term care costs. You should enroll in Medicare during your initial enrollment period at age 65 unless you have creditable employer coverage from active employment. Otherwise, you may face late enrollment penalties. But Medicare is just the starting point, not the complete solution. Original Medicare generally pays 80% of the approved Part B services after the deductible is met, and it doesn't cover most dental, vision, hearing aids, or long-term care. These gaps can create enormous expenses that destroy even the most well-funded retirement plans. Long-term care alone averages about $5,000 monthly for home health aid and over $9,000 monthly for a nursing home, depending on your location. You have three options for long-term care. You can self-insure by setting aside substantial assets, purchase long-term care insurance, or you can use some sort of a hybrid life insurance policy with long-term care riders. Each approach has trade-offs though. Self-insuring requires earmarking $300,000 to $500,000 just for potential care costs. Traditional long-term care insurance provides leverage, but it also comes with the potential of rising premiums. Hybrid policies offer more certainty, but oftentimes with lower coverage ratios. Step 4 is the most psychologically challenging, transitioning from growing your wealth to creating reliable income from it. You spent your career knowing in just 2 weeks you'll receive another paycheck deposit to your account to shore up your checking account balance when you may have spent a bit more than expected. You've grown comfortable saving a portion of each paycheck and watching your balances grow. Now you're faced with leaving that paycheck behind. Not only that, you're no longer saving and watching your accounts grow. You're now tapping them to replace your paycheck and potentially watch your balances decline. This can often be tough to grasp and take a bit of an emotional toll, especially in light of the market's ups and downs. One of the biggest risks during this transition isn't market volatility, it's sequence of returns risk. This could mean selling investments during market downturns to fund your lifestyle. If you retire and immediately face a bear market, you might be forced to sell assets at depressed prices, permanently reducing your portfolio's recovery potential. One strategy to consider is the bucket approach. You divide your assets into 3 buckets: short-term cash for 1 to 2 years of expenses, intermediate-term bonds or CDs or some other type of fixed income for years 3 through 7, and then long-term growth investments for years 8 and beyond. This allows your growth investments time to recover from market downturns while you live off of more stable assets. The key insight here is that retirement investing isn't just about returns anymore. It's about sequence and timing. Your asset allocation needs to evolve from growth-focused to income-focused, but you still need growth to combat inflation over a potentially 30-year retirement. Here's what makes this transition so particularly challenging. You've spent decades focused on growing your wealth, and now you need to shift to distributing it efficiently. This psychological shift often requires professional guidance because the strategies that built your wealth aren't necessarily the same strategies that will help you sustain your wealth in retirement. Let me bring this all together for you. These 4 steps create a comprehensive pre-retirement review. Stress test your budget against inflation and healthcare costs. Optimize your Social Security claiming strategy. Develop a healthcare and long-term care plan, and design an income strategy that manages sequence of returns risk. The year before retirement is your last chance to make these adjustments before you start depending on your plan for income. Missing any one of these steps doesn't just mean leaving money on the table. It can actually mean facing financial stress during what should be your most enjoyable years. If you're recognizing that coordinating all these moving parts feels overwhelming, listen, that's completely normal. These decisions interact with each other in complex ways, and small mistakes can have significant long-term consequences. That's exactly why our clients work with us rather than trying to navigate these decisions alone. At Chopin Associates, we help pre-retirees and retirees create comprehensive retirement plans that address each of these critical areas. If you'd like to explore how we might be able to help you transition from uncertainty to confidence, go ahead and visit our website to learn more about our process. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more retirement planning insights designed specifically for people like you who are serious about getting retirement right. Until next week, have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.